Hello and welcome to Daily Current Affairs by NeoIS. Today is 20th September 2019 and the topics for discussion are India and Blue, Fishery Sector in India, National Educational Alliance for Technology, Poshan Abhiyan, BharatNet Project, Map Aided Program and Previous Year Question Revision Series. Coming to our first topic, which is India and Blue. Now, this is in news because the 16th session of the Joint Economic Commission, that is JEC, between India and Belgium Luxembourg Economic Union, that is a full form of BLUE. This meeting has been convened in New Delhi on 17th of September 2019. Now, we're talking a little bit about the meeting. Now, the India and Blue reiterated the importance of Joint Economic Commission towards the development of bilateral economic and trade relations through facilitating dialogue and enhancing cooperation on a wide range of issues. Now, this will include, a variety of areas like, transportation and logistics, renewable energy, agrospace and satellites, and other wide different sectors such as Ayurveda, yoga, life sciences, traditional medicine, information communication technology, etc. So it's a very wide discussing platform for the Indians and the blue countries, that is Belgium and Luxembourg, on economic issues. Okay, now we'll talk about the Joint Economic Commission. These sessions are convened on the basis of an agreement which was signed in 1990 in New Delhi. Okay, now this is a biennial event and is organized in the capital cities of the three countries alternatively. Now, the Joint Economic Commission between India and Belgium Luxembourg Economic Union, it was first established in 1997. Now, this is the main vehicle for discussing bilateral economic and commercial issues between these two bodies. Okay, now India, we'll talk about India and Belgium here. Now, India is Belgium's second largest export destination and the fourth largest trade partner. Now, this is outside of the European Union, and one major reason for that is because of the Indian diaspora living in the region. Now, the leading exports from Belgium to India are in the sectors of gem and jewelry. And here in the sector of gem and jewelry, we are talking about rough diamonds. In addition to that, we have chemicals and chemical products, and finally, machinery and mechanical products. Now, coming to the major exports from India to Belgium, it's in the sectors of gem and jewelry again, but here the difference is that we are exporting back the finished products or the polished products. In addition to that, we have base metals, articles, other chemicals and chemical products. So these are the exports between the two countries. Alright, coming to the next topic, which is the fisheries sector in India. Now, the Union Minister of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying has actually released a handbook on fisheries statistics of 2018 for India. Now, this was published by the Department of Fisheries of Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying under the Government of India. Alright. Now, we'll talk about a few statistics that has been given in this report. Now, the fisheries sector is a major source of livelihood for over 1.60 crore Indians. Now, mostly this will be along the coastal regions of India. Now, you can understand the development of fisheries can actually ensure nutritional security, because fish or seafood actually has a lot of proteins and other nutrients inside of it. So, consuming that actually increases the nutritional value in our food. In addition to that, we can also ensure food security for India and also provide employment in these regions that are predominantly inhabited by rural populations. Now, the total fish production is of 12.59 million metric tons, and this was registered in the period between 2017 and 18. And the contribution from that is mainly from inland fishery sector and the marine fishery sector, that is the going and fishing right into the sea. Now, here the thing is that the inland fishery sector actually made a contribution of 8.90 million metric tons, and that of the marine sector actually made a contribution of 3.69 million metric tons. So, keep in mind here that the inland fishery sector is actually producing much more than the marine fisheries sector. Alright. Now, the average growth in fish production during the year of 2017-18 actually stands at 10.14 percentage. Now this is in comparison to 2016-17, just going back 1 year. Now this is mainly due to a 14.05% growth in the inland fisheries when compared to that of 2016 and 17. As of now, India is currently the world's second largest producer of fish, and it is also the world's number 2 in aquaculture production as well as inland capture fisheries. Now, the percentage of contribution of inland fish production in the total fish production is 29% during the year of 1950 to 51, and that has increased to 71% in the year of 2017 and 18. Okay. Now, Andhra Pradesh has actually recorded the highest production in inland fishing, whereas Gujarat is the leading state with respect to marine fishing. Now, keep a note here that the export of marine fish products has registered a growth of 21.35% in quantity and 19.11% with respect to value in the years of 2017-18. Coming to our next topic, which is the National Educational Alliance for Technology. Now, this is in news because the Ministry of Human Resource Development has actually announced a new public-private partnership scheme that is called the National Education Alliance for Technology, or NEET. Now, this is for using technology for better learning outcomes in the higher education institutions. Now, the objective of this scheme is to use artificial intelligence to make learning more personalized and customized as per the requirements of the learner. Now, there are a number of startup companies, developing this, and MHRD would like to recognize such efforts and bring them under the common platform so that learners can actually access that easily. Now, educating the youth is a national effort by the MHRD, and it proposes to create a national alliance with such technology developing educational technical companies through the PPP model. Now, we'll talk about how this is going to work. Now, the MHRD would actually act as a facilitator to ensure that the solutions are freely available to a large number of economically backward students. MHRD would also create and maintain a national NEET platform, that is NEAT platform, that would provide one-stop access to these technological solutions. Now, the EdTech companies, the educational technology companies, would be responsible for developing solutions and manage registration of learners through the NEET portal, and they would be free to charge fees as per their policy. The national government is not going to come into them, so the companies would be free to charge whatever rates they want to charge. Now, as their contribution toward their national cause, they would have to offer free coupons to the extent of 25% of the total registrations for their solutions through the NEET portal. MHRD would also distribute free coupons for learning to the most of the socially economically backward students. Now, AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education, would be the implementing agency for the NEET program. Now, in addition, awareness programs would also be taken up by MHRD to create awareness of the NEET solutions to teachers and students. Okay, now coming to the next topic, which is the Poshan Abhiyan. Now, this is in news because India is unlikely, it came in the news today, India is unlikely to meet its target set under the ambitious Poshan Abhiyan or the National Nutrition Mission program. Alright, we'll talk about this. Now, this study was conducted by Lancet, and the major points that it produced was that India will miss its target for stunting levels of 25% by 9.6% and the underweight target of 22.7% by 4.8%. Now, the report is a joint initiative of the Indian Council of Medical Research, Public Health Foundation of India, and the Ministry of Health and Family Welfare. Now, coming to Poshan Abhiyan, we'll talk about the scheme. Now, the Poshan Abhiyan is basically the National Nutrition Mission and is a flagship program of the Ministry of Women and Child Development. Poshan Abhiyan was launched in 8th March 2018. Now, the aim of the Abhiyan is to ensure holistic development and adequate nutrition for pregnant women, mothers and children. Now, the scheme targets to reduce stunting, undernutrition and anemia among young children, women and adolescent girls, and also to reduce the low birth weight. Okay, now the target of the mission is to bring down stunting among children in the age group of 0 to 6 years from 38.4% to 25% by 2022. Now, according to the National Family Health Survey 4, that was between 2015 and 16, 38.4% of children under the age of 5 are stunted, 35.7% are underweight, 18% of children were born underweight, that is less than 2.5 kilograms, 58% of children between the age of 6 to 59 months, and 53% of women in the age group of 14 to 49 years have anemia. Now coming to our next topic, which is the BharatNet project. Now this is the news because the Digital Communication Commission, which is the highest decision-making body in the Department of Telecom, has actually approved multiple projects worth of rupees around 8,500 crores, and this is for setting up mobile towers and laying of optical fibers with the aim to provide improved connectivity in the country. Now we'll talk about the project. Now this comes under the Ministry of Communications, and the objective of the project is to facilitate the delivery of e-governance, e-health, e-education, e-banking and other services to citizens in every part of our country on a non-discriminatory basis. Now the mission is to provide high-speed digital connectivity to rural India at an affordable price. It is also to provide a business-to-business service in a non-discriminatory manner, and to finally to facilitate proliferation of broadband services in rural areas so as to foster socio-economic development in the line of Digital India program that has been launched by the Government of India. Now the Digital India program has a vision to transform India into a digitally empowered society and knowledge economy. Now we'll talk about BharatNet. Now the target of completing 1 lakh GPs under the phase 1 of BharatNet was actually achieved in December of 2017. Now the BharatNet phase 2 is planned to connect the remaining 1,50,000 GPs using an optimal mix of media. Now the phase 2 is being implemented through 3 models, that is the state-led model, CPSU model and the public sector model. Now the BharatNet is being utilized by BSNL, CSC, SPV, PSPs, etc. for delivery of services at Gram Panchayats. Now coming to our map period program, today we will be talking about the Udanti and Sitandi Tiger Reserve. Now the Udanti Sitandi Tiger Reserve actually came into existence in the year of 2008-9. Initially these were 2 separate reserves which was later combined together and then later on controlled under one field officer. This is located in the district of Dhamtari in the state of Chhattisgarh. Now Sitandi Wildlife Sanctuary actually derives its name from the Sitandi River that originates in the middle of the sanctuary. Now it is known for its lush green flora and its uniquely diverse fauna. Now the Udanti Wildlife Sanctuary is small but an important wildlife sanctuary located in the Raipur district of Chhattisgarh. Now it derives its name from the Udanti River flowing from the west to east, covering the major part of this sanctuary. Now coming to the previous year question revision series, the question for today is that consider the following statements about the Charter Act of 1813. Okay, so the first statement is, it ended the trade monopoly of East India Company in India except for trade in tea and in trade with China. The second statement is that it asserted the sovereignty of the British Crown over Indian territories held by the company. And finally, the third statement is that the revenues of India were now controlled by the British Parliament. Okay, now the answer for this statement, if you have read your history properly, you will come to know the answer for this statement is actually option A, because statement 3 is wrong. Under 1813, it did not start control. The British Parliament did not start controlling the the revenues of India. So this is a wrong statement. So that's all for today. I hope you enjoy this session. If you have any doubts or queries, you can write down in the comment section below. Thank you.